Hello, my name is Dr. Steve Duran with Performance Horse Nutrition. Today I'd like to tell you about a new probiotic that we developed called GI Pro3. As you know, probiotics are live microorganisms. These microorganisms, when fed to horses, will provide a health to that horse or to that host animal. Some common examples of probiotics that are typically used include the bacterial Lactobacillus, Enterococcus, Streptococcus, and even live cell yeast. We know that stress, an animal that's under stress, can disrupt those intestinal microbiota, the bacteria within the digestive system. And that stress can be from a rapid diet change, can be from trailering, can be from any type of training or racing that horse is involved in. We often will feed probiotics to these horses to minimize the impact of that stress, to reestablish the normal gut microorganisms, reestablish the normal microbiota. A disturbing study was published in 2021 from the Journal of Equine Veterinary Science, and those scientists have actually evaluated 11 supplements, and they looked at that supplement for their probiotic guarantee compared to what the scientists could actually find that was alive in the product. And surprisingly, not one of those products met the label guarantee. And several of them had no trace even of the bacteria that they were listing as a probiotic. So Performance Horse Nutrition said, as an industry, we need to do better. We absolutely need to make sure that probiotics are being delivered alive to the target tissue that we want to impact. So since probiotics are live microorganisms, the first trick, or the first hurdle, if you will, in getting those to be effective is making sure that they arrive alive to the hindgut. And this means that those live microorganisms need to survive manufacturing, need to survive the transport within the digestive tract to the hindgut, and then they also need to be able to survive storage conditions. Once they're put into a feed or supplement, do they remain viable? So now enter PHN GI Pro3. GI Pro3 is a partner project with Kemin Industries. And what GI Pro3 is, it's a probiotic that combines 3 strains of the Bacillus bacteria, PB6, FXA, and G3. Because this was a project that Performance Horse Nutrition worked on exclusively with Kemin, this is a product that only PHN or PHN clients actually have access to. So we wanted to test the product. We wanted to make sure first that this product could survive the pelleting process. So we pelleted, we added a certain amount of GI Pro3 to a feed, then we pelleted that feed, and then we looked at the recovery of those bacteria in that pelleted product. The pellet temperature was 90 degrees centigrade or 195 degrees Fahrenheit, and we found that we could absolutely recover the live bacteria that we put into the product. We could recover those in the pelleted product, so it survives the pelleting process. Next, we wanted to test, will GI Pro3 survive the acid conditions of the equine stomach? So we tested this at a pH of 3 for either 30 minutes or 60 minutes. And what we found is that that probiotic, the GI Pro3, will actually survive the acid conditions of the equine stomach. So therefore, it will survive manufacturing. It will survive the acidity of the stomach, so it will actually arrive alive to the hindgut of the horse. The final step of testing is we wanted to make sure that we had a shelf life. Once we mixed it into a product, into a supplement or a feed, that it would remain viable. So GI Pro3 is specifically activated by acid. So years of shelf life as a supplement or a feed in paste or powders or feeds, we found that we could actually recover the bacteria in a viable state, in a live state. So this means that GI Pro3 actually gets to the hindgut alive. So what does it do once it arrives? Simply, GI Pro3 inhibits bacteria that cause certain diseases in the horse. So in laboratory testing, where we've taken those different bacteria and we've looked at zones of inhibition or the ability of GI Pro3 to inhibit those bacteria, we found that it inhibits Clostridium difficile, Clostridium perfringens, Rodococcus equi, Strep equi, and Salmonella. We know that those particular pathogenic bacteria can cause disease, specifically strangles, loose manure, diarrhea, lung abscesses, and a general dysbiosis of the microbiome of the hindgut. So GI Pro3 is a true probiotic. We know that it arrives to the hindgut alive, and it has proven ability to inhibit equine pathogens. Now, I think it's important to remember that GI Pro3 does not treat disease. Instead, GI Pro3 actually inhibits those pathogens within the digestive tract so that these horses shed less of those harmful bacteria into the environment, and then you have less disease. So it doesn't treat disease as much as it helps prevent disease. So PHN now is including the GI Pro3 in many of the feeds and supplements that we formulate. PHN will continue to provide new technologies and to test these technologies so that we can provide better feeds and better supplements for your horse population. If you have a question of which feeds or supplements have the GI Pro3 included in them, please feel free to contact us here at Performance Horse Nutrition.